Oh, 6:54, 6:54. $6:56, 4 minutes.
You can still hear me okay?
Yep, I hear you perfectly.
All right.
3 minutes. 3 minutes till showtime. Janet, we're gonna. If you can. Well, you don't have any noise or anything like that. But if you have noise, mute your mic or whatever. You got something going on.
If there's like something going on. Yes.
Yeah, if you have noise, just
like I do have my dogs here, but they're pretty quiet.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Only if somebody knocks on the door.
Yeah. Just don't forget to mute your mic if you have to get up. And what else? So I'm doing the intro. I'll intro you. And I have two other guests popping on. I have Rolonda Watts, who's actually filming right now. She's filming, but she's going to pop on to give her a little intake on, give her 2 cents. And my other guest that's not co-hosting yet, is Chris Mean with By All Means. He's the CEO and president of By All Means Incorporated Leadership Alliance. So hopefully everybody come on time.
It'll be interesting. I hope I can have some input, but I think I would like to listen to people too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna kick it off, and they're gonna chime in, and it's gonna be a good talk. Seriously.
What they have to say.
2 minutes. Oh, 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute till showtime. We're starting on time today. Everything is live. We're live on Facebook if you want to share it. We're always on with Tonya and Jay featuring DJ Weiss on Facebook. You can share it. Join the conversation. We're talking some heavy stuff today. Are you tired of being Black in America? Let me know. Hit me up. All right, 7 o'clock, rack it back. Let's get it popping. All right, I'm ready. You ready? All right. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to All Friday. Tonya J featuring DJ J.U. Ice. Happy Friday. What's up, Juice? I don't think he can hear me. But anyways, Jay's not going to be with us today. He's out of town, business and everything, but he's definitely listening in. So we got some great talks today. We're going to be talking to several guests today. Our first guest is here's Christopher Means. Let's get him in there. Anyways, our first guest is senior supervising producer at KTLA 5 in Los Angeles. Morning news producer Janet D. Hill. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
All right, and then we have our second guest. Hey, Chris, are you here?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
All right. So we have our second guest, Christopher Means, President, CEO of By All Means Leadership Alliance. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Good to be here.
Good to be here. Happy Friday to both of you all. Anyway, let's start this conversation because we got a lot of elements to go through for here. So let's oh, wait a minute. Oh, my girl Kit here. Hold on a second. People are popping in.
Uh-oh.
Ah! Kit's popping in. What's up, Kit? Kit. Anyways, that's our third guest. She's popping in before she's doing some filming tonight herself. So she's doing this stop by for a little bit. And then we have a surprise guest. Hopefully that Rolonda Watts can show up too. But anyways, Kit, are you here? I don't know. She's connecting still. Anyways, Kit's an actress, a producer here in New York City, and she's gonna, help us join in on the conversation too. So, but let's get this thing started. Oh, who else is coming? Somebody else is coming too. Hold on one second. Oh, that's Rolonda. She's here. We got a full house today. Wow. We got a full house. Kid, are you there? What's up, Kid?
How you doing?
How you doing? We got Rolonda Watts. Welcome, Kid. We got Chris Means. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you met him before. We got Chris Means. We have Janet D. Hill from KTLA 5 out of Los Angeles. I can't even get tongue-tied. Sorry about that. Anyways, hey, Rolonda. How are you?
Good. I'm just working hard. I'm in between shooting scenes here on a sitcom.
Okay. Well, you look beautiful.
Well, thank you. They do a good job here.
Welcome to the show, Rolonda. I'm going to introduce our guest to you. We have Kit Williams, actress, producer. We have Chris Means, who's the CEO and president of By All Means Leadership Alliance. And we have supervising producer for KTLA 5, Janet D. Hill. Welcome, everybody. Let's get this conversation started because I know people got to move and shake things and everything. So did everybody read the article by Johnathan Capehart about being tired, being exhausted as a Black person in America?
Yes.
Yes. Are you tired?
I feel like the question in itself is just like, it's life. And it's so like, the thing I like about Johnathan is he kept it very, very real. And it's so like we are all feeling it. And I feel like, and I hate to say that, but this is the one time where I feel like I can speak for every single person of color. We are tired. And but then it's like, but the question is really, what are we gonna do?
Exactly. How do you feel, Rolonda?
Well, I think it's high time that the rest of the world knows what we have to do before we even put our makeup on in the morning. And that is pray that we live to get back home by dinner time.
Oh, right.
And don't kill somebody at work in the process. But something, I think it was also something that brought us together as Black people to say, oh, I'm not the only one going through this. We're not, we as a collective go through this. It has been proven that a lot of the health issues that Black women face come from the racism they deal with at work every day. So these are real psychological issues. These are health issues. These are economic issues. These are social issues. And thank God the genie's out the bottle and it's not going to go back. But I agree with what Sister just said. Now, what you going to do? Now, it's out there. What you going to do? Because nobody else is going to do anything. Thank goodness we had the help of alliances during this time, but then what? Now what?
Chris, what's your take on it?
As I talk to a lot of brothers, on a day-to-day basis, you ask the question, hey man, how you doing? And you start hearing all these, little colloquiums, oh, it's hard being a Black man. Oh, it's hard out here. Oh, same fight, different round. And, when you speak on something or you say something like that, that just shows that, yeah, we are all exhausted by what's happening, what we witnessed a year ago. Like I woke up one morning and I watched the video of George Floyd. And I was just, it was just like, I was just devastated. And I had to watch it again to just like really understand like what was going on. The world watched this man die for 9 minutes.
Yes.
And then people are asking, well, why is everyone upset? Why is everyone protesting? And whatever. Why you think? This is what happens on an ongoing basis, day after day, time after time. And when I walk out of the house now, even like with my mask, sometimes I walk with a mask, sometimes I walk with a scarf around my face. Today, I went to the bank today and I was thinking, man, there would be a time if I walked in here with my face covered, there was gonna be some problems.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Janet, what's your take?
Well, I agree that we had a lot of alliances right after George Floyd, but I have to tell you that those alliances are shaky right now, because if you get into too deep of a conversation, which I told you about earlier, where they're all about the justice for George Floyd, but you start talking about those other shootings, and I have to tell you, it's not good, the stuff that they're saying. And so our alliances are a bit shaky right now because they don't really know how to handle what's happening. They really don't.
Well, that's because it's been happening for years, for decades, for generations and everything. So nobody really tried to handle. They tried, we had Martin Luther King and all of the, big time political leaders to help, social leaders and everything. But I don't know, what can we do now? I mean, what can we do?
The thing is we get so far and then we stop. But this is the issue. Like, we as African Americans, Black people, whatever you want to call us this month, we know what the deal is. We know we are going to have to keep moving forward.
Right.
But then we have to look at our allies and go like, okay, we know you're gonna get tired. And then we must now be able to find a way to be able to tell them, like, it's okay, take a minute, because we don't need you to take this minute for you to go ahead and finish out this race. And that's what we've got to realize, is this is going to be a long race, because for me, and I forget which war it is because I'm horrible when it comes to my history. I think it was World War II when most African Americans started really going to war. And that was for me what showed it. I'm like this, you can go and you can fight for your country and then you come back and try to put on a uniform and they beat you down. That was our first clue. If we never could get past that,
right.
How the hell are we ever going to get past them just shooting some guy? And that's just it. And when we win one, we lose 100,000. Like when Barack Obama was elected, I was so happy, but I was terrified because I knew right then, I was like, oh, we all gonna die. You can't get the big one, but you're gonna get everybody else. And that is the mentality, because in New York, we don't see that mentality as much. In California, you may not see that mentality in certain parts.
As you go down south,
but it's the middle of the world. Well, I said parts because it's like LA,
we do.
LA might be good, but the rest of it is crazy. Like California is very, very conservative outside of a few bigger cities. So I can see that. Like,
go south, go down to the dirty south.
I got to say what you're saying when you say California is very conservative. No, California is actually a moderate state. And yes, we are moderate. That when you look us up, it's a moderate state. If we have a lot of Republican pushback, but we still vote majority Democratic now. But it's Democratic, but the Democratic is not because they have this, and I hate to use the word woke about our rights and Black people and stuff too. They have other things they like that go with the Democratic Party, and it's not always necessarily because of Black folk.
So let's talk about some of the well, first of all, we gotta define what exhaustion is. Exhaustion is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I need to stop drinking, right? Let's get the definition to it, because it means tired. We're tired. I'm tired. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm tired looking at every day. I mean, because the media's putting it out there. I'm tired of people being shot, tired of the protests, tired of everything and fighting.
Tired. I mean, I think tired is like that's the nicest way to put it. We are.
That is the nicest.
Or just sick and tired of being sick and tired.
There you go. Sick and
when
tired
you get tired of being tired, that's exhausting.
But imagine if we were back in the day, like back in the 50s and 40s, when we weren't allowed to sit in the same seats or the same area as white people, or drink out of the same fountain, or segregated schools. How tired is that? How can we complain? How can we complain now? And that was worse back then.
Well, I tend to think that, we always say, each generation, we don't look like our parents look, because they were more weathered and exhausted due to the fact of those Jim Crow foundations that wore them down. So we may look younger than our grandparents and our parents look, but we're tired in a different way. We're tired of having to think that extra step of, okay, when the police pulls up, now I have to run through a whole, list of survival skills. And that's only going to give you a 50-50 chance of living through that. So
Right.
who else has to think extra about survival skills when those are the cases of the police coming up on you? Who does that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We may look different, but we think different, and we're weathered in a different way because we're mentally exhausted. You know,
I think it's also becoming very clear what the whole police situation was set up for anyway. I mean, I think that I believe that most white folks do know about how there is discrimination and very different kind of treatment. You can't tell me you don't know that.
yeah.
But I think that the people are asking them to say something. Your silence is violence in itself. And I think that, it's putting them in a position where we know at some point they're going to say, this really ain't my problem. And I really don't want to be involved.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to brace yourself, Black people. How am I going to digest that? How am I going to put that into the coffers of other disappointments that I have in this whole situation? And you bring up a good point. We particularly have a problem with the police. Yes, there are people who are Asian who are scared to go out of their house today. Yes, there are Jewish friends of mine who are afraid to walk through certain streets of New York City. In New York, of all places. Yeah. But this is a situation where we don't hear about them having those issues with police as much. And that's what is teaching us, the systemic racism that police officers, they might have, I know some nice police officers. There are a lot of them who belong to them KKK groups, and that's just the bottom line. They have been systematically put in a position to come and get us in particular. And this goes back to the overseers in slavery. You know what people gonna have to deal with is our history. This stuff didn't just pop up all of a sudden. This is something that is so status quo, you acted like you didn't even know about it. And you do, everybody does. So to act like you got your head in the sand is ridiculous. So this has been a very eye-opening and mouth-opening situation.
Because it's being videotaped and filmed.
It's video.
Right.
That's
and
right.
now they're even going so far. You've heard recently, even in Chicago, they're telling police officers, turn off your cameras before you come into the scene. They're trying to edit a video in North Carolina from this, from the recent, so it's like now they know that they're being, that the systemic racism is being exposed because it's caught on tape. Now they're trying to figure out how to redact. I've never heard of redacting a video until the other day. I was like, oh, so now you're going to try to redact video? Now you're going to try to turn your cameras off so that so you don't see what happened? We're tired. Yeah, we're tired of trying to seek social justice, racial equality, and the goalposts continually being moved.
Wow, I love it.
I want to say something really quickly about the historical part of all this. I think that we sometimes forget that what we're up under is 400 years. We have to remember that while we were up under that 400 years, they were above this 400 years.
400 years.
And so a lot of this that's going on, sometimes I feel like it's in their DNA, because when they see Black people running from them, it is a hunt and capture. And even if they're in their own neighborhoods where you're going to find that person, just let them go. But they don't. They hunt them and in the back, and it's a capture. And that was going on throughout slavery. And I'm going to say, working in the media, we do a lot of movies where we show where they capture them and they bring them back. But historically, that's not what happened. They made examples of people who ran.
Right.
Yeah, they made examples of them. And I think that's what the kind of mentality we have here is they're making examples.
Yep.
And because our young people are videotaping it.
Technology brought it all to futation.
That's amazing. It is the game changer.
Right. Let's talk about assumptions. White people think they have so many assumptions about Black people that we're fast in sports and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Let's talk about the assumptions that get us killed, though.
I think the main assumption is that they are still terrified because, and it goes back to the days of slavery. They are afraid, and this is the problem. They are afraid that we as Black people are going to be so upset that we are going to do some kind of crazy revolting and they cannot fight it. So instead of just saying, because like we as Black people, we are very peaceful people. We're like, you know what? All that stuff's happened in the past. But if you let all this stuff go right now today, I guarantee you, all Black people in the world be like this. If we're letting it go and we are all totally equal and we can have a straight shot from here on out right now, we're going to let that past go. We would do that. But the fear is they're afraid of some sort of retribution or some sort of fight that they will continue to fight to hold a whole entire race down who has done nothing. Like literally nothing. Like we birthed your children. We have fed your children with our own breast.
Right. Yeah.
And we have loved your children.
Right.
And it's weird because like I go on a lot of really random TikToks and stuff like that. And I love going through the comments. And there's this Black guy and he was talking about his Black queen, all the comments that were negative, usually from non-people of color. But when there's somebody talking about a white woman as a queen, we're always there to lift them up. And I am the person, like, we believe in lifting up all women. We are all
women in general.
Exactly.
We're humans.
And I feel like, like as far as I'm afraid of two people really in my entire life that I don't ever want. And if I had children, I wouldn't really want to mess with as a Black woman. I don't want to mess with cops usually or teachers, white women teachers. Those are just equally as bad to me as cops because the way and the mentality that they are taking and beating down these children in schools, that's another issue. So we have so many issues on top of issues and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't. And I don't know how to fix it. And I know if we can't, but we have to figure out in a way how to fix it because we have a whole other group of people who are like, no matter what, they're going to look for us for an answer. And sometimes to make it easy, you got like, this is what we got to do.
White supremacy does not want to let go or recognize, it's never wanted to recognize how dope Black people are. So if you started with the beginning of white supremacy, they used to say, or we've been known to be lazy. How can we be lazy when we built this country? Right? We were told that we weren't smart. W.E.B. Du Bois in the late 1800s became a doctor. The scientists, that worked at NASA. The first open heart surgery. White supremacy has tried to discount our dopeness. They have tried to discredit what our contributions to America have been. And more now you have a handful of athletes or entertainers or artists who are making money. But do you realize that is just a fraction of the Black people in America? But they see a handful of us and they were like, oh my God, yeah, you should be grateful, because, the LeBron James, or you should be grateful for, the Kamala Harris's or the Barack Obamas. Nigga, please, okay?
Why should we be grateful just to be able to exist?
You know what I mean? You're talking about there's 40 million Black people in the United States of America. And you've only allowed, or some of us, if we couldn't go through the back door or the front door, we went through the back door. We went through the windows. We are climbing through it. But listen, that is a small fraction because your supremacy is trying to continue to suppress us. You're continuing to devalue or not understand Black children, Black men and boys. We respond and react differently as 9-year-olds. And so if you have 80% of white teachers are female that don't understand how Black children are or how little Black girls are, then you start sending them into those cages of learning disabilities or whatever. But we've made music, we've made art, we've made history, we've made science, and that's the supremacy that's going to continue to try to suppress us. But we're going to fight through it, because you know what? Black people are dope, but we are tired, and we are going to protest. We are going to be pushed to destroy stuff, because that's our frustration of what is really going on.
Right. All right, so that was great, Chris. But anyways, let's well, we talked about aggression. I don't know, did we talk about aggression?
I'll just, because this topic, Tonya, when you called me and was like, hey, listen, I've had a whole year to get a lot of stuff off my chest. I've had a lot of downtime. I've come from the hospitality realm, where I've been one of 3 Black Americans who's run fine dining restaurants at the highest level, one of 3 in the entire world, worked with Michelin star chefs and everything. The microaggression that I have got, not only from the customers, from the guests who are like, well, who are you? Or can you do this for me? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get someone to do that. But well, who are you? Well, I run this place, and they can't hide the visible, like, what? You're the boss? Like, yeah. But the microaggressions from my colleagues, I'm just going to say it, my white colleagues who didn't really recognize or understand that they were reporting to a person of color. The microaggressions against that were devastating, in terms of the extra that I had to do to perform my duties in order to continue to be the person that manages these, $10 million establishments.
Wow. Yeah. So you do have to put on a different hat when you're in corporate America, or anywhere. Actually, when you get out of bed, you can't, when you get out of bed.
Yeah.
No, I'll take it for the women. Straight hair instead of kinky hair. Now the kinky hair, our natural hair, was what we wore that for a long time, until the perms and stuff that came out, and we tried to straighten our hair. Some people are still straightening their hair, but the weaves or whatever. But if you like, I think Janet, you were saying this, that you had straight hair for a long time, right?
Yeah, I mean, as a manager in broadcast, especially Black female, there's few. I mean, we are basically white rhinos in this industry. Mm-hmm. And so for the longest, I wore my hair straight. And then when Michelle Obama came out and said, I'm going to go natural, I went natural in my job. And I will tell you, for the first 4 months, people who had seen my hair before would see me the next day and act like they had never seen my hair. And it was like constantly shock and surprise. Oh, I love your hair, and trying to touch my hair. And I actually even had a news director, very casually, as if he was saying, "Would you like a cup of coffee?" walk past me and say, "I liked it the other way."
Oh,
yeah. And like I said to you, they are dropping bombs just that casually. And if you're not careful, you'll get into a confrontation, and you don't want to. But at the same time, so finally I put a guest on the air to talk about natural hair. I showed and I rolled out video with Michelle Obama and everybody else who they love so much, who had turned over to natural hair. And then suddenly someone walked up to me and said, "Oh, I get it now." So sometimes it's not going to come out of our mouths. We have to kind of pull in what they enjoy about us.
Yeah. We're going to take a break in about 3 minutes here, but I want to get Kit's opinion before we take a break about, what type of microaggression have you experienced?
I mean, I'm an actor, and I'm also, I use journalism to pay the bills, and now I'm doing a lot more comedy. And comedy is the only place where I'm seeing a little bit of give. Like Like I got a gazillion wigs because I'm always doing the sketch or whatnot, whatever. And wigs is what saved me because I literally had booked a job. I'm not gonna say for who. And I had my natural hair. They loved it. They were so cute. It was big. Da, da, da. I booked the job. I'm on location. We're getting ready to shoot. And I show up that day. Well, that day before I got on the plane, I decided to, wash my hair and braid it. They were confused when I walked in. They're like, what happened to your hair? Like we did it. And I was like, it's still here. I just washed it. It's like, and I literally had to go and take it. Literally, like we were having a production meeting. I went into the bathroom and had to blow out my hair. And what made it even worse, and this is when I tell you, they flew me first class, they put me up in the best of everything, but still, when I went to set the next day, because we shot in where the biggest mall is that Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And what killed me is when I went on set and they had hair and makeup, guess who had to do her own hair?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That wasn't 10 years ago. That wasn't. We're talking about like a year and a half.
Wow.
We have hair and makeup at the set, but all the African Americans, they bring their own stylist because our makeup artists and stylists won't do their hair.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's terrible.
And I'm like, how is it that you won't do your hair? And this is, again, another microaggression that I find that I have as a Black woman and as a well-spoken, articulate one. I've had to learn how to navigate my world and just live my life and then navigate a whole other life. And they will never, ever cross over and try to do the same. Because I guarantee you, like, I've gone away and I've French braided a white girl's hair many a times.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure we all have.
I want to speak to that too and say too that we grew up knowing exactly about everything about them. That was part of our DNA. We had to learn about them, but they never had to learn about us. They segregated us and they didn't care how we did our hair, what we did with our skin, any of that. And so we do know more about them.
They're learning about us now.
Yeah, they're learning about us now, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Learning about us and then trying to emulate us.
Oh,
there you go.
Every
talk about co-op.
They're trying to co-op everything.
All right, we're going to take a break real quick. We're going to take a 2-minute break. I'm going to ask you all to just mute your mic because DJ J.U. Weiss is going to spin some music for us for 2 minutes. We'll be back and we're going to pick up this topic. Be right back. Always on with Tonya and Jay. Tune in. Go ahead, Juice.
Yeah. Of course. Girl, I never meant to make you walk like that. Yeah. But all this time you holding me back. Yeah. You are the one who begged for this. All on my face and I can't resist. Yeah. I'm hitting it till she go AWOL. Girl, you know this is A1. Told her get down and just sang up. Can't wait another minute, I ain't got no patience. As long as I you will learn today. Alright. She want me to fuck her like she's in a straight jacket. Give her that crazy. She said me like I'm in a straight jacket. She like that craziness breaking. She just wanna climb the wall while I take her down. She just wanna scream on top of all the. She love that crazy. Danger zone when I'm in the zone, doing full demolitions to the walls and all. Non-stop banging, non-stop. Yeah, no, we knocking over furnitures, yeah. Got you coming like I'm calling you. Rain like the forest do. Girl, you know how we do. When it's me and you, I'm hitting you till you go AWOL. Girl, you know this is A1. Tell her get down and just hang on it. Ain't got another minute, I ain't got no patience. Long time, learn today. Alright. Like she's in a straight jacket. She want me. Give her that crazy love when I crazy. She stuff me like I'm in a straight jacket. She like that craziness breaking. She just wanna climb the wall while I take her down.
All right, all right. Welcome back. Always on with Tonya and Jay featuring DJ J.U. Ice. Love the sounds. That was D. Morgan with Straight Jacket. Gotta have you on the show. You know I love music. That's my first love. TV's my second love. Anyways, we got our guests. We got Janet Hill from KTLA 5 morning show, supervising producer. We have Kent Williams, actress producer, and we have Christopher Means, CEO and president of By All Means Leadership Alliance. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about, is being Black in America exhausting? Are you tired? You tired? Sometimes I'm tired. I don't know about y'all. You said you were tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. So we were talking before we left to go on break. We were talking about microaggression and everything. But I just want to, get into a little bit, before we get up out of here, about I guess stereotyping, which is almost the same stereotyping. I'll give you an example. I'll kick it off because y'all have been talking and I want to say mine first and then we'll leave it y'all. So I go to work every day. This is when I was going to work. I work from home now. I was going in the city every day. I take the subway, the bus, and I'm getting on the bus. And every day, I don't know how long this is going on until I really noticed it because I had music in my ears. But I noticed that a white woman, would always sit down next to me and sing this song. What was the song? I can't remember the song now. Something about powerful woman. Oh, sister is doing it for herself every day. She would stare me in the face and look at me and sing that song. So Juice, at first I thought she was crazy, but no, she wasn't crazy. She would stand next to me while we were waiting for the bus and sing that, basically in my ear. And so I asked her, why do you keep singing that song to me? I'm not understanding. What's wrong? She didn't want to answer the question. So what I'm thinking, I don't know what to think. Okay, she's racist, or maybe she's saying I'm a strong Black woman. I don't know. What do you all think?
She's racist.
You ask her? Did you ask her why she was singing it?
Yeah, I did. I asked her why she kept singing it. She wouldn't answer the question.
Oh.
Yeah, that's that microaggression.
Okay,
aggressive. And,
Microaggression.
What she was saying to you is every time she sees you, she sees your Blackness. That's what she was saying.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Well, she could at least scratch it up, mix it up a little bit, kept singing the same song. Sisters are doing it for themselves. What? Because I work at a news station?
No, it's because you're a Black woman going to work. And she's like, "Just go, Black girl. I see you."
Well, I appreciate if she said that because his singing was horrible. First of all.
And part of microaggression is doing it so that they get your attention and they get a reaction. That's what microaggression is about. So mixing up the song wouldn't have gotten that.
No, would have got a reaction out of me for sure, especially if I was running late for work.
And as I told you before we talked about doing this, is what happened out on my street.
Oh yeah.
I'm in a predominantly white neighborhood in Studio City, California, and there was a guy that I've seen all the time, during this pandemic, walking our dogs, and he waited for me on the corner. I walked up and immediately wanted to talk about George Floyd verdict. And I was like, great, and we were talking. And I was like 5 minutes in, and then he hit me with what he really wanted to talk to me about. And he said, but that 16-year-old in Ohio, she needed to be shot. I told you about that. And I was like, whoa. And then I said, very nicely, she was a child. And he went off, and in the midst of our neighborhood, he was yelling and screaming, and I'm trying to get away. I get across the street, and as I get across the street, he yells, because he knows I work for a TV station, across the street, and he says, and if you believe that, you're not a journalist.
What?
Oh, he took it to another level. But that's what's up underneath a lot of what's going on with allies is you got to win, but they still have that same kind of.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, you go ahead, kid, please.
Well, that reminds me of the case in New York where the gentleman was looking at the birds. He's a bird watcher. Yeah. And the woman who called the police, like, you know, she's a Bernie supporter. She's all like, I'm all about, but the first thing she called was the police and said, well, this African-American man, you know, she made sure she used the correct terms, but she knew exactly what she was doing.
Right.
And that is the issue. It's like you have a lot of good people who are only on that cusp because they're just trying to do what they think or that way we want to see. They're doing a lot of performative right there.
We want to be careful
like
that
what Jim said earlier.
They don't compartmentalize us as individuals, and you're good here, but you're not good there. You know, I'm safe with you here, but I'm not safe with you there, and that's something that makes microaggressions dangerous.
Extremely.
You know, one of the things I think that you know we have to do, we have to stop apologizing, answering. You know, people. You know, non-BIPOC people can't tell us how to feel, or how to react, or how to respond to you know, to what's going on in the world, and we don't have to be apologetic. You know what I mean? And we're not the ones to educate them. If you know what, you go educate yourself for why I'm upset. You go educate yourself why I feel that little 16-year-old, 13-year-old, you know, the Breonna Taylors, why is it that, you know, you go educate yourself why we're upset. You know what I mean? Right. That could be part of the solution of lowering some of our exhaustion, because I find that we're constantly having to answer for things that other people don't have to. We've seen multiple videos over the last couple of weeks where a white guy had a knife stabbing at the cop. A white guy, you know, pulling off with the cop, and the cop's hanging on the car.
Yeah, and that, yes.
You know what I mean?
I know all these videos.
Shot fired, no bear spray in the face like the servicemen. You know, none of those things happen. So you know what? Guess what? I'm sick and tired. You know what? I'm sick and tired, and I'm sick and tired of having to explain to you why we're upset. You figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. As we keep going on, maybe you get a clue. But like I think Rolonda had said, somebody had said, I don't know who said it, but everybody's heads in the hole. They're just now peeking out just a little bit to see, you know, oh yeah, that is kind of wrong. But George Floyd made that happen, even though there were so many more other people who had passed on before him. But that video opened everybody's eyes in the world, not just here in the United States, the world.
But it was the world, I think, that saved us.
Right.
Because I mean, I think because there's no way they could not do anything. Because first of all, let's talk about the French. They don't like us. They don't like nothing about us. But they sure did sit there and ring some bells in March.
Yeah, they did. And the Germans did too, everywhere, all over the world.
So that said so much. And then and this is something we didn't even touch on tonight, but I feel like is something that I'm not going to even go into. But then we have to also look at our prison system. And like the things that they are doing and how that is set up, because you take all of these prisoners and you take them from wherever they're come from, and you take them to small rural towns and stick them in those prison systems. Then you count those people in your, they do the census, they count them in the census. Therefore, then you get those small towns getting more representation in, usually white. And then they've been taken out of their own community, so they're not getting representation there. So then you're basically taking away their rights, but taking that number so you can get your number higher. And
but they've been doing that since the beginning, because this electoral college, that's what this was about. That's why they put us in the Constitution as being not quite fully human. And then they took those numbers, because the electoral college is about, they counted us, but they only count us as a fraction of people, so that the South could say we had a greater count and get higher votes. And what's so crazy is we still rely on that same system today, which was based on racism.
Right.
And our slavery.
Right.
But I don't know how we're going to still change it. I mean, I think we have a better shot, because we are all going to college now. We're all a lot more educated, uber educated. Like, I thought I knew something. Like the kids today, that come out, like the talking heads, like the 30-year, I always call it the gens, they are so smart. They are on it and they are ready to fight. but it's just like getting all of the knowledge and knowing and getting kids, younger kids. And I say young kids because there's some kids who like, they don't like, I don't care, I don't give a damn more. And they don't care. And we're starting to lose a lot of our history. And that's going to be a problem. Oh, here comes Tonya.
Yeah, yeah, we're losing it because they're trying to erase. They're trying to erase the history out of the history books,
Right.
and so I think that I'm a huge proponent of the of Black History Month, but I'm a bigger proponent of our Black history just being integrated in everyday history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't have to be, pigeonholed into 28 days of a year,
Shortest month of the year too.
because we're intricate part of history that they don't want to recognize. And the reason why there's going to continue to be these cycles, yes, we're gaining more and more allies, by the day, but we're not instituting empathy. People have no empathy for people of color. There's a lack of empathy for people of color. And so until you start with the youth, with continuous just education and bringing these prominent figures in and having the Johnathan and Capeharts discuss this, and there's another gal that's on MSB, Tiffany. You're starting to see figureheads who are in places like yourselves in the media who are bringing more attention to it. We even got Reverend Al, he's been on TV now, and he's shifted how he's thought about things from coming from the civil rights era and integrating more knowledge into mainstream media. That has to continue.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
go ahead.
No. That was me going like, oh, let me stop. Go ahead.
So what I was talking to Tonya about was we like to look at cable and we like to look at network, but a lot of this, and having been in this for 40 years, starting with CNN and Ted Turner, is this local news. And local news, it seems like it's so innocuous. People are like, oh, it's just local news, happy talk in the morning, whatever. What people don't realize is that it's not just about us, it is about how that audience, that non-Black Black audience, and what they're seeing. Because what we see, and what I know I see, is when they need a story in the morning and they don't have anything, they go into the Black community. There's going to be a crime somewhere. And what our people don't respond to is that it was good enough at 4 o'clock in the morning, but then by 8 o'clock, they moved on to another story. What they do, what's happening is that they desensitize the audience to Black people always being in conflict with the police, Black people always being in some kind of conflict. And what I want to tell my viewers out there, and I want to tell Black people in general out there, is what goes on in TV stations. And this is what happens from network to local. If they get more than 5 calls, that's all it takes. 5 calls about something they don't like. There's meetings, you guys. Wow. There's meetings. And I will tell you, non-Black viewers, they know that, and they will, and they will stop, and they'll say, stop this interview, or we're not, we'll never use that guest again, or whatever. But because we don't get enough of our people, and it's so easy. And that's where, when we talk about remedy, it doesn't have to be these big, large remedies. It has to be where they go. And where they go is they are squeaky wheels. And we just let it go by. And you know what? We were ingrained in that, to just let kind of like say, well, if Denny's doesn't treat me right, I just don't go to Denny's. But
yeah, we need to make noise.
You've got to speak up. And it's nothing to them to write email. I mean, they kill us. They'll write an email. They don't like someone. And guess what? We change it. And I just want to reach out, but I'm only kind of like one person, to say, email. Right. Even if they stack a story, and they don't tell you the whole story, or if they stack 3 really negative, or I call negative Black stories in a row, and tease it all morning, you should be complaining. Because a lot of that audience that we're talking about, the only time they really even see us, a lot of them, you have to understand, they live in gated communities and they live where they're safe. And when they see what they see on TV is how they see us.
Right. That's the assumption right there.
Yeah, I mean, so we have to speak up.
Yeah, everybody saw the movie White Chicks, right?
Yeah.
And you remember, and I'm just, aligning what you just said. Everybody saw the movie White Chicks. And the one specific part when there was a hotel confusion and she said, oh my God, I'm going to have a BFF. And they had to write a letter. This is what Janet is talking about. So if you see something, say something. Like the New York slogan says, basically say something.
Well, that's good to know, Janet, because the local news is horrendous, and it does.
And I work in it.
It perpetuates. It perpetuates. I just don't watch it. I don't watch.
I know, but here's the thing: and then that's what I want to say about to my brothers and sisters is if you don't watch it, the point is that they watch it. Right. And if you're not actively saying, don't go into, right now in South Los Angeles, a lot of news crews aren't welcome there.
Let me piggyback off of that too. Let me plug in cancel culture. I'm a huge fan of it. If you're a jerk, you're exposed, email, text, call their company, blow up their Facebook, blow up, let them have it. Because it's just there's no room for it. And if you have a representative of your company that stepped in it, you should hear about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always just blowing it up. Sometimes it's just informing them because believe it or not, they don't want to have a big blow up. They want to put on the news and they want to inform people and they want to get good ratings. And let me just tell you one more thing about Black people and ratings. We may not be like the majority of the population that watches, but we are the bump culture, which means if everybody's even, but you have more minority viewers, that's your bump. And why are we bump? It's because we may not have the numbers, but we have the hours. There's research out there that shows Black people watch TV longer than any other population. If we turn the TV on, it's on for a maximum of 6 hours, a minimum of 4 hours. It's white noise in our house. And we realize that meter is clicking that whole time. And so if they have those Black viewers, it's important for them. And so we have to start to understand how much weight we do carry, even if it's not really loud. And to share that and say, you know what, you didn't like something that I just saw? You know what, call and write them because sometimes they have unconscious bias. Sometimes they don't realize what it was when they stacked 3 negative Black stories together, or we went all day and we only showed happy non-Black people and everybody else was in confrontation. You have to, it's tiring and it's exhausting, but that's where it comes right into their homes every morning, every afternoon, every evening. That's would be my plea out there is just speak up a little bit. It will change a little bit of the culture.
Well, speaking of changing and everything, how can us professionals, build allies and help with aggression?
We do it by being on shows like yours and literally having the conversation. We got to have people need to see more dialogue of real people, real talk, the conversation amongst, not non-celebrities, you know what I mean? Right. The conversation of regular folks who are connected to other regular folks who actually have regular conversations about these kind of things. You can't rely on, the whole celebrity market. And, I appreciate, factions and entrepreneurs like, Byron Allen, who are buying, TV stations and, and delivering Black content. And I love all the Black content that is coming, that's coming out right now. But I think, little forums like we're having, Tonya, with you and Jay and Juice, these are good. These are good conversations that people need to hear. And I might personally hope that you continue to do this and you continue to grow these kind of conversations.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Kit, what you got on what you think?
Honestly, I mean, I'm going to go off of what Christopher said. It's like, honestly, it's like, as long as we have the conversation, and we also have to remember to give ourselves grace and to take the time when you need it, because this is a long game.
Right.
And in knowing that, it's just taking the time to breathe. And I'm gonna be this person. I felt very blessed tonight to actually like have this conversation and get different opinions, because sometimes I can be so angry and militant in my own mindset that I forget that like the little structural things, they do make a difference.
Right.
I never even thought, and I've been in television for like 20 some odd years. I never thought like this, I'm gonna write a letter. Now, when I get upset, I still like but I never thought about it that. But then when I get upset and I'm like, I go to a hotel or something, I get mad, like, I'm gonna write a letter. And I definitely write a letter because they get really upset when they get a letter.
Right.
And I never even took that in mind and thought about like writing my local news. And maybe it's because I've become a little bit of a snob, and like I look at my local news, but then I don't, because if you're in New York, your local news is pretty much network. So you just kind of follow that.
Right.
But I'm coming from Oklahoma, I think about how important our local news is. And we just passed a law, like we getting ready to be -- 1 state as far as like, you don't want to do anything. Like Christopher was talking earlier about how other cities had started like, wearing cameras. Like in Oklahoma, it's pretty much, nope, don't have to wear a camera, and you can kill anybody during a protest. You can do whatever. Like they
run them over.
Days ago, they just passed the bill, and it's getting ready to go through another house. And after that, it will, and like in Oklahoma will be one of the first states.
Wow.
You whatever you got to do to a protester. Nothing.
And so this is where President Biden and Vice President Madam Kamala Harris, they have to act now.
Yep.
They have the numbers. Pass those voters' rights laws, the John Lewis laws. Pass filibuster everything. Make these guys stand out there and show how racist they are, because they can, from a federal level, subjugate those local laws that are being trying to put in place that go against civil rights and civil liberties. And if you don't do it now and you mess around, you may get in trouble, especially if we don't remember that every voting cycle is important. Right. We have to vote. We have to vote on the down votes, on the on the non-popular vote, on the city council vote.
Just get used to voting.
Exactly.
You just get used to voting.
Just to vote.
Just vote, because they're going to try to do everything to stifle that, and that's why. They know that the Stacey Abrams of the world are teaching us and educating us on that.
She's a hero. She's my hero.
Oh, she's a hero.
Dan, what do
she's
you
all
got
of our
to say?
heroes.
What do you have to say? Let's tie this up. We've got 5 minutes left. So what do you have to say?
Well, I'm pretty much, first of all, loving this panel, and secondly, they're pretty much speaking exactly what's in my heart. And I got exhausted. I really took a mental health day off the day after the verdict, because as in the news, I watched those videos, all the shootings. I watched them repeatedly because I have to report on them, cut them. And so, and actually I was stunned when I heard those 3 guilties.
Right. I was too. Listen, I didn't even watch, like you, I'm in the news business. I'm doing the videos, I'm writing. I didn't watch the hearing at all, because I didn't watch it at all. I didn't want to watch it, and only because I didn't want to be let down.
Yes.
Right.
I didn't want to be let down by having a non-guilty, verdict.
I watched pretty much every hour of it, because one, it's my job, but 2, I think that's the thing we can talk about is we no longer, we move forward. We no longer look away. That's the problem.
Okay.
We don't have that privilege to look away anymore. Especially with our kids are out there and they're videotaping it.
Right.
Then we have to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, I watched some of it, but I just didn't want to be let down. That was my whole purpose I didn't want to hear it. They played that video 50 million times. I couldn't take it no more. It's hurtful. I mean, but anyway.
But But I'm gonna just say real quickly, but that's what the culture that they built. is
Yeah.
They beat us down so much that we just go, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
But we got to
exactly.
keep going. And
We got to keep going. Look,
I
don't
know we can.
I know everybody's exhausted, white, black, whatever. I know everybody's tired, but I know especially our people, Black people, are tired. But I just want to say, keep your head up. I wish I could play that song right now. Keep your head up and stay strong. No matter what, stay strong. No matter what life is bringing to you right now, stay strong, period. But anyways, we're going to get out of here. Introduce yourself one more time. Janet, go ahead. You can go first.
Janet Hill, I'm Senior Supervising Producer at KTLA Morning News in Los Angeles.
All right. And if anybody want to get in touch with you, you have an email or?
Yeah, it's the easiest email in the world. It's my name, .ktla.com.
There you go. Chris?
Hey, I'm Christopher Means. I am the founder, CEO of By All Means Leadership Alliance. It's the youth leadership development organization through social justice project for Black and Brown youth.
There you go.
Fight the power.
Hey, Kit.
I am Kit Williams. I am Kit Williams on everything. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, my own website. I am an actress performer. I work a lot with the pit and I have a lot of stuff coming up. So just follow the website.
Yes, exactly. And you all know how to get back in touch with us. If you want to watch our shows and everything, we're on Facebook, Always On with Tonya J, featuring DJ JU Ice. We're on across all media at TJ Always On. We're also on werocksradio.com, where you can watch the replay, audio only, on that network station on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Also, well, that's about it. I guess that's about it. Jay says hello. I'm sure he says hello. Rolonda had to dip out earlier because she's filming, but she says thank you all for having her on and everything. Thanks, Rolonda, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. That's my girl. Love y'all. But anyways, we're about to get out of here. Thank you all so much for stopping by, having that conversation with me. Thank you. Y'all are beautiful people. Love you. Take us out, Juice. Have a great Friday and great weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Dude, we got damn soon. Okay. All right, y'all. Getting ready to get out of here. It's 8 o'clock. I gotta pick up the kid. You know how that goes. Love you. Have a good night. Bye, Juice.